Hi guys. Welcome to my sports trend. So before we get started, make sure to hit that like button, also subscribe to my channel. In this video, we will talk about top teams in FIFA World Cup 2022. So make sure to watch the full video. The tournament in Qatar is now less than 2 months away, so who looks best equipped to lift the trophy? Given its timing and its setting, the 2022 World Cup promises to be an edition like no other. Teams from around the globe have been busy putting together their final preparations for the tournament, with some looking in better shape than others ahead of the big kickoff in November. But, with just 7 weeks to go, who are the favorites to lift the trophy, who will be the surprise packages, and who are most likely to be also rants? Goal will be ranking all the contenders throughout the build-up and during the tournament, and here's how they are currently shaping up. 1. Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia are back at their 6th World Cup since first qualifying in 1994, but they will have to go some to match their debut performance of reaching the last 16. Though they topped their final qualifying group with a mean defensive record, they struggled for goals throughout, netting just 12 times in 10 matches. They will likely need a forward to catch fire, too, given they will be coming up against Lionel Messi and Robert Lewandowski in the group stages. 2. Australia. Australia snuck through on penalties against Peru in their Intercontinental playoff to reach the World Cup finals for the 5th successive time. Though they face an uphill battle to equal their best performance, which came when they reached the last 16 in 2006. They will face France and Denmark in the group stages, and given they won just 4 of 10 games in their qualifying group, it is clear that they are not as strong as they once were. As such, little will be expected of them in Qatar. 3. Tunisia. Tunisia had kept 9 straight clean sheets before Brazil put 5 past them on Tuesday evening, and they will need that defense to step up if they are to make any impact in Qatar. France and Denmark will fancy themselves to repeat what Brazil did to the North African outfit when they meet in the groups, with Australia making up the numbers in Group D. Tunisia have never reached the knockout rounds in 5 previous World Cup appearances, and that pattern is unlikely to change in 2022. 4. Qatar. Qatar were the pot 1 side that every other team wanted to draw, but overlooking them would be foolish. Finishing in the top 2 while facing the Netherlands, Senegal and Ecuador will be far from easy. But the 2019 Asian Cup winners do seem to be able to raise their game when tournaments come around. Host nations have been written off before, only to produce some shock results, so do not rule out Qatar too quickly. 5. Costa Rica. Having beaten New Zealand in their Intercontinental playoff to qualify for the tournament, Costa Rica will be hopeful of repeating their 2014 heroics, where they reached the quarterfinals. Back then, they topped a group that included Italy, England, and Uruguay. And they will need to similarly upset the odds this time around, given they are in a group with Spain, Germany and an improving Japan. A last-gasp win over Uzbekistan in their final pre-tournament friendly did not bode well for the future, but they do have enough quality to ask questions of superior sides if they perform well. 6. Canada. Aside from European champions Italy's failure to reach the tournament, Canada were the story of World Cup qualification, topping the CONCACAF table to reach their first global tournament for 36 years. As co-hosts of the 2026 World Cup, that is the competition they believe they can make a real splash in, but they are not traveling to Qatar as mere tourists either. Alphonso Davies is a player that Belgium, Croatia and Morocco will have to prepare thoroughly for. And a first-ever win at the World Cup should not be beyond them if the Bayern Munich star is firing on all cylinders. 7. Iran. Iran have only missed 2 World Cups since 1998, and will be there again this time after topping their group in the 3rd round of Asian qualifying. They won 8 of their 10 games, and conceded just 4 goals as they made relatively light work of claiming a spot in Qatar. They backed that up by beating Uruguay and drawing with Senegal in their final pre-tournament friendlies. And will be a tough nut for England, the United States and Wales to crack. 8. Wales. Wales secured their first appearance at the World Cup since 1958 with victory over Ukraine back in June, and harbor hopes of reaching the knockout rounds, as they have done at the last 2 European Championships. Gareth Bale has played his best football on the international stage over the past few years, and will be keen to put on a show in what could be his final major tournament appearance. A grudge match against England in the group stages has lifted excitement levels even further, even if this current team is not of the level of the 2016 Euros semi-finalists. 9. Ecuador. The youngest team in CONMEBOL qualifying, Ecuador are regarded as being a side on the up in South America, and proved it by qualifying in 4th position. Their best years are undoubtedly ahead of them. but they will get the chance to announce themselves on the global stage when they take on hosts Qatar in the tournament opener on November 20th. From there, things get more difficult against the Netherlands and Senegal, but a win on opening day could yet set them up for a shock win or two further down the line. 10. Cameroon. Cameroon backed up their third-placed finish at the Africa Cup of Nations with a stunning, last-gasp win over Algeria in their World Cup playoff to secure a spot in Qatar. Though they are not the star-studded team of previous generations, manager Rigobert Song seemed to have found a winning formula in the early months of 2022. Recent defeats to Uzbekistan and South Korea, however, have cast doubt on whether they can truly challenge Brazil, Switzerland and Serbia for a last 16 spot. 11. Japan. For the 7th straight World Cup, Japan have secured a place at the tournament, finishing second in their final Asian qualifying group in Asian qualifying. Their reward, if you can call it that, was being placed in Group E alongside Germany and Spain, as well as Costa Rica, but they have the attacking potency to cause a shock. Their recent win over the United States perfectly illustrated that point, and while their draw is tough, do not write them off quite yet. 12. Ghana. After their embarrassing group stage exit at the Africa Cup of Nations, Ghana managed to pick themselves back up and edge out great rivals Nigeria in their World Cup playoff. Now, they can prepare to face another team that they would love to beat in Uruguay, given the heartbreaking way in which the Black Stars were knocked out of the 2010 quarterfinals. Since qualifying, they have added Inaki Williams and Tariq Lamptey to their ranks, and another run to the knockout stages is not beyond them. 13. Morocco. Morocco might not be every fan's first choice to sit down and watch during the World Cup, but they have the potential to be a surprise package in Qatar. Only twice in their final 6 qualifying matches did they fail to score 3 goals, and they were unlucky to lose to Egypt in the quarterfinals of the Africa Cup of Nations. In Achraf Hakimi, they also arguably possess the most exciting young player in African football, and a group containing Belgium, Croatia and Canada is not as daunting as it might have been. Mark Morocco down as goal World Cup power rankings dark horses for a place in the last 16. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. Also subscribe to our channel before you go. Thank you for watching.